Well, hello there, fellow PvP nerds, and welcome back to another video. How do you like my cyber sensei magical knight rocking them space glaives? Pretty good, huh? No? Now seriously, how much do you rate from 1 to 10 my drip over here? Huh? The red details underneath my armor, the fabric upon my eyes, and even the little red details on my unknown gauntlets. You better rate it high before I Lorreta slap your ass. Alright, so today's video is about Fashion Soul's setups. A big shout out to the fellow gamer Soul or Sticky. In my top 3 favorite setups video, I asked you guys what are your favorite setups. And one of the top 3 setups on Sticky's list was dual Lorreta war sickles. And given how sick these halberds over here look, I gave them a try. Now, I've never tried pyrostassing halberds before, and I just wanted to try the moveset out, but I wanted to do it with style. Now, I'm thinking of making a new series about Fashion Souls that will include some cool setups matched with some fashionable armor. Now, these halberds over here are a little bit special. They share the unique moveset of the sword spear, but they don't share that big damage that sword spear has. Speaking of damage, let's check out the build. Now, the downside to these weapons over here are the scaling. They require some kind of a quality build between strength, dexterity and intelligence. Now, the difference in AR, if you have like a build with 50 intelligence and like 20 strength and dexterity, are minimal, but you get more physical damage rocking it like this over here. Other than that, they are the longest halberds in the game. Now let's talk a little bit about the actual moveset. So you have your bread and butter, which is your running attacks. If you're gonna turn a little bit to the right, you can actually chain your running attacks, if you didn't know that. You have your neutral R1s, which are amazing for massing. They are also anti-air, and they easily get the buff from the rotten winged insignia. This setup also shares the jumping R2 to R1 through combo that the sword spear also has. You have your running R2s that got buffed on the last patch, and they are pretty good. Your crouching R1s are pretty nice, especially if you see people try to strafe you for a backstab. The neutral L1 is pretty damaging, but sometimes because they split like to the side, they get hit only by one of the two halberds. So maybe it's better to do a jumping R2 to R1 neutral instead of the jumping L1. The crouch L1 is an anti-air. It's a really nice attack and it's really satisfying if it lands, but it's not that good. It's pretty reactable. But I'm a wave dashing enjoyer, so I'm trying to land those two. Now, the neutral L1s are like horrible. Never use those. And the running L1 has its uses, but hear me out. Because the poise damage on this attack over here is different than the actual halberd moveset, which is I think 125 poise damage. In this attack over here, if you have enough poise, you can actually tank the first hit and go for a backstab really easily, so be careful with those. They are probably better for finishes and even better free aimed just to get them with the last hit. Last but not least, we have the Lorreta slash. This Ash of War is really underrated. It has a frame 1 hyper armor and you can actually trade with people for a gazillion damage, man. But it's an easily backstabbable attack because it's really telegraphed, so use it wisely. So before we jump into the clips, I wanna review this setup. Alright, so it's a really fun setup to use, but it's pretty mediocre. Yeah, you have multiple attacks to do mix-ups with, but everything is pretty reactable. Most of the times when I fought people in the arena using a better setup and they knew what they were doing, I was having a really hard time. But enough now with the actual talking and let's jump into the clips. Until the next video guys, have a nice one, bye!